Kern County is one of the 8 counties in the San Joaquin Valley in California. This region is so wealthy because of agricultural production. We grow a third of the nation's vegetables and crops, and 20% of the nation's milk comes from this region. Yet there's this paradox where we also have the highest levels of poverty, and those that fuel the economic engine of the region are those that are most impacted with environmental pollution, have the worst public health outcomes.
The community of Lamont is an unincorporated community, small community with a lot of infrastructure challenges, but also hardworking people. Most of them are farm workers, like 90% Spanish speaking, but it's a friendly community. They have a lot of people that don't have cars and they need to walk. There are very minimal areas with sidewalks, so they need to either walk out on the streets or on the dirt, and it's very dangerous for them because of cars driving.
This is mostly a farm labor community, and the parents go to work, so the kids, they walk to school, and a lot of cars pass through here that are fast. There's no sidewalks, it's real dusty, and it becomes mud. That's where the kids fall. That's why they decide to walk on the street instead of what's supposed to be a sidewalk.
The goals of the health impact assessment were to make sure that low-income communities of color and the public health outcomes in those communities were taken into consideration as the decision makers looked at this issue and developed a plan. The communities that we looked at in the study were also identified because of the support from the Health Impact Project and support from the California Endowment in partnership with the Building Healthy Communities initiative that is taking place here. And we prioritized health in that because we see poor health outcomes in the communities we looked at. We see high asthma rates, high obesity rates, cardiovascular disease, high rates of cancer. We wanted to make sure that that was incorporated. It was really important to us that the health impact assessment was driven by community priorities. Community residents throughout the process said, we can't really change the way we travel because it's really difficult to walk by foot or even use a bike.
The participation of the community, they were like hungry of someone or something to come and help them because they are an incorporated community. They don't have local government and they depend on the county, and therefore they need to be more active and proactive. Because of the community involvement and the organizations and developing this great tool, we were ready to collaborate with the county in applying for monies to improve the community. Initially, they were just planning on focusing on the metropolitan area, basically the city of Bakersfield, and not even considering the rural communities. The health impact assessment that we collected helped us influence what was going to be included in that plan. These are the facts, these are the needs that rural communities have, and you need to include them.
In Lamont specifically, community residents who were engaged in the HIA wanted to see policies come to life. As a result of the HIA, they made recommendations about wanting to see increased investments in pedestrian safety improvements in their community. After adoption of the Regional Transportation Plan, they worked with Kern County to apply for funding that would bring nearly $2 million to their community for pedestrian safety improvements. And it was a huge win for the community.
This is one of the corners that is going to benefit from the sidewalks. It starts from here about 4 or 5 blocks down. That's where all the sidewalks are going to be at. When the project is going to be finished, we're going to have like 8 miles of sidewalk. So I think it'll be great having sidewalks so the kids can walk safer.
I think the influence of this assessment is beyond just collecting data. When we are advocating and making changes in the community and getting the ears of the decision makers, we need to include the community, we need to empower the community. Otherwise, they will only pay attention to people with money, those that have the power to influence the decision makers.
I think the most important part of the HIA for the work that we did was the process. It brought different stakeholders to the table. There's real community engagement. And while this project brought in nearly $2 million for sidewalks, it also brought in a sense of pride. It rallied community to come together even more and is now driving in another neighborhood, Greenfield Rexland Acres area, to submit an $8 million application for pedestrian safety improvement.
There's a school where I live, and all the little kids, they walk in the streets. They risk their lives because they don't have sidewalks. I work in the newspaper in South Kern, Seoul. I wrote an article about this, and people got inspired, and they came up to me and they told me, you should be the leader. What I did was get petitions and go around my neighborhood and talk to residents about the whole project idea, and I got a lot of support.
El impacto que va a tener este proyecto de banquetas en la comunidad va a ser tremendo porque va a traer obviamente más salud, la gente va a caminar más, van a ir al parque caminando, van a estar en bicicletas, los niños van a ir a la escuela más seguros, la salud va a mejorar, pero también va a reducir el uso de carros, o sea que también va a ayudar en el medio ambiente. Entonces esto va a ser algo que va a traer muchas cosas buenas a la comunidad.
The end result that we have in fighting environmental justice is about health, it's about equity. We are fighting for cleaner air, that's health. We are fighting to improve the infrastructure of the communities, that's health. Without equity, there is no health. And sometimes we need to make a lot of noise so the communities can be heard.
What makes Kern County great is the people. It's the history behind Kern County, the culture, the languages. You could go to any neighborhood and there's a sense of culture, there's a sense of community. We think of each other as a family, and community shows up to want to see a change. And there's something that drives us to continue the advocacy and continue to engage to allow our kids and our families and our neighbors and friends to have better opportunities.